from clarkwoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode 111. I am Chris.
And I'm Steve. And see what I have here, Chris?
Yes.
You see what these are? These are these crazy things that I use to listen to things.
I'm wearing a pair myself.
Yours are kind of different, but mine I use to...
I believe they call those ear pods.
Ear pods, and they have a little volume control. And all
got a third button on there. You can do all sorts of crazy things with it in podcasts.
Yeah, it's really fun. And apparently I'm not going to be able to use that on the new iPhone.
What do you mean, Steve?
The new iPhone doesn't have a jack for that.
Oh no, it has a jack. It has a lightning port on the bottom.
Oh, so that means you need to get a splitter for it so you can plug in another thing to it.
No, you just there's a little adapter in the box. You get a little adapter in the box. You plug your.
It's going to come with an adapter for your headphones.
Right in the
instead of just having a port.
Well, you see, Steve. Here's the thing: is that it takes courage.
Okay.
To make
all right. The cowardly lion. Let's see.
No. That's what Phil Schiller said on stage at the Apple event this week, which you've been kind of alluding to.
I didn't watch it, so I imagine you did though.
I watched part of it. Part of it was just playing through the speakers in my car on the way home.
Yeah, that's really weird because I have this jack in my car that I use. That has the same sort of headphone jack. I don't have a Bluetooth connectivity in my car.
I do have Bluetooth, but Bluetooth sucks. So
yeah, but I don't have that connectivity in my car, so I can't use that interface with my phone in the car. So,
I see.
I would have to use something like this,
right? Which you can use because there's a little adapter.
Will it also charge my phone when that's doing that?
Battery life has improved.
Oh, it has?
Yeah, by significant margins. Like 2 hours. The iPhone 7 gets 2 hours better battery life for most people than the iPhone 6S.
So now it's going to be a 2.5 hours? How about if you're playing Pokemon Go?
For Pokemon Go, we suggest that you turn on the little mode that switches your screen dark when you sort of hold it down at your side.
Oh,
increases battery life.
Oh, that's great.
I hear that's how it works.
I don't like
courage, Steve.
when we already had this conversation before when they were when they came up with the new MacBook Air or whatever.
No, the MacBook.
The MacBook. Okay.
Colloquially,
it's a hard word to say. I understand.
Colloquially known as the MacBook One on several of the finer Apple-centric podcasts out there. The MacBook One.
Okay, so when they were like, "Hey, we don't like HD or not or USB ports anymore."
Yeah.
The things that you plug any sort of thing into your computer
wireless
with.
world, Steve. It's all about wireless.
I know, but this mouse that I have has a little port that I put into the side. So what you're saying, Apple, is that you want me to buy more shit?
No, we're saying we want you to. We are saying we want you to. I know I should not use the we. I don't work for them anymore, and probably won't ever again. Now that I'm talking about them in this way.
No, you are defending them, and I am being.
Well, yeah. As long as I probably could work for them again at some point in my life if I stopped talking about them on the podcast. Anything I've done here.
Do you think they're like going over each show with a fine tooth comb? They're like, did he talk about Apple in this episode? Just don't hashtag it.
No,
I will.
I had talked about Apple plenty in the years that I ran Geek Force 5 as a blog prior to 2011, which is when I started working there. Started working there October 5th, 2011. The day I started working there, my birthday.
Yeah, your birthday. I was like,
also the day that Steve Jobs died. So Steve Jobs was so offended that I started working for his company that he left this mortal coil. He shuffled off this.
I'm glad that you think of yourself that highly.
No. So, but before 2011, before I started I wrote plenty about Apple. In fact, Geek Force 5 for the 2 or 3 years prior to that was all about Apple. So, and now I didn't write about them or blog about them or anything for like 2 years while I worked there. And then in the years since, I've talked about them again. But I think if I wanted to go back at any point, I think they would just say, all right, just stop talking about it now.
Do they make you sign a contract that says don't talk about our products in your social life or in your podcast life?
I couldn't say.
No, fucking hell.
No. I don't think they. I mean, they're see. And here's the thing: is I have friends who still work there, and it seems to me that they've gotten more freedom to talk about the company, social media wise, than they did before. And maybe that's just the people who have been there for a while. But it seems like it's not as big a deal. At any rate, I still am a fan of the company, and yes, I am kind of taking on the role of good cop here. I'm defending.
I'm just, I don't understand making your products less convenient.
Making them more convenient, you mean?
Convenient
by making them water resistant, which you
water resistant. Yeah, I'm on board with that one.
Which you would not have been able to do with a headphone jack.
Oh, I know, right? Like other phones that that guy that's dumping champagne on, that has a headphone jack on.
Which phone is that?
I forget.
Is that the one that currently made by the motor? No, not motor.
I think it's probably Samsung.
The one currently made by Samsung that's liable to explode in your pocket.
Why? Because it's water resistant or water absorbent.
No,
super absorbent phone.
So I mean, I don't. There's like hours and hours and hours of podcasts that have spoken about this issue over the summer since they first leaked it. I mean, it's obvious that somebody inside...
Can't you put a little bit of like a little gummy substance in there and just like, now it's water resistant once you put something in that port?
Well, yeah, and that worked out so well for the LifeProof company. You ever had a LifeProof case of any sort?
What the fuck is that?
So a LifeProof case. My younger daughter has a LifeProof case on her iPad now because she broke the screen 3 times. And the LifeProof case is great. It's scratch and shatter resistant. It's also water resistant.
So cool. You can take it in the bath.
If you don't lose the thing that screws into the headphone port.
Okay.
And if you lose the thing that screws into the headphone port, LifeProof will give you a new one for essentially the cost of the entire thing. So the entirety of these waterproof or water resistant cases usually goes into the piece that waterproofs the headphone jack. So there is some truth there to the fact that they needed to get rid of a headphone jack in order to make it
super absorbent,
in order to waterproof it. But like I said,
we should just make a sponge phone.
There's been hundreds.
You can listen to podcasts while you do the dishes with your phone.
Yes.
Sponge phone.
There's an app for that. No, I mean, there's hundreds of hours of podcasts on this, and I don't know. I think they obviously, as a company, want to go towards this wireless future, and let's not even get into the AirPods, which I think are an interesting first attempt, but they are of a completely stupid
swing and a miss.
I mean, well, the thing is, people have made the very obvious joke, which is that they have already lost their AirPods and they haven't even shipped yet. Like two little things that stick in your ears instead of one. And they're not connected at all.
They're not connected.
They're not connected at all. So and supposedly I've read they fit from people who were at the event and got to try
right
them.
Into your butthole.
They fit better in your ears, but my ears are really weird. My ear canals are really weirdly shaped, and so those.
After the show, let me take a look.
Okay, those pair. That pair of headphones that you showed me at the top of the show, like I have that pair of headphones, and when I go out for a walk or I go out for a run. Let's be honest. When I go out for a walk, they sometimes fall out of my ears.
I think that's the true for almost everybody. So I don't think it's your weird shaped ear canals. I think it's just that they weren't quite. There's no elasticity to them, and so they kind of just sit right here.
Right. Yeah. They kind of sit there.
And then if when I'm at the gym doing like the elliptical or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating, like one or both of them will fall out inevitably.
Yeah. So I mean, and they're kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too here, where if they were really, and this has been the subject of the talk show with John Gruber, whose site Daring Fireball is like, if you want Apple news, just go to Daring Fireball. You don't have to subscribe to anything.
Channel Fireball, all the Magic of the Gathering news you really want.
But what was my point? So in the box, they're including a pair of the wired headphones, except they end in a lightning cable that plugs in there. And they're including an adapter, which they'll also sell extras of for $9. which is not bad. It's way better than way better price than any other Apple adapter, and is actually on par with most adapters you'd buy at Radio Shack these days.
No, but the trick is, like, when I'm driving to work or whatever, and I want to listen to things on my phone, and I want to charge it.
Right. Well, so the way that I do that is my and most people are not going to go out and buy a new stereo setup. But for Christmas a couple years ago, my stereo setup in my car wasn't working. The aux jack, the 3.5 jack, that 3.5 millimeter jack that was built into my car wasn't working anymore. So I went and I got a new stereo system that has a USB connection.
Jack.
So yeah, it connects and it powers and plays audio through the same thing.
Oh, so I just need to get a completely new stereo. All right.
No, and see, that's the thing.
Or a new car. And a new car for you, Steve, because you got a new phone that doesn't work with your other things.
Right. I mean, I think what they're expecting is people are either going to go Bluetooth for the audio and charge it through some other port, or that you have enough. I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is. Did they have to get rid of it? I can buy into that they wanted to get rid of it. Did they have to get rid of it? I don't know. Because I think, honestly, my phone has probably been not in like a heavy downpour, but it's probably been in scattered showers, and I've had it out to check things, and it's water resistant enough as long as I don't sort of hold it up to the sky and say, "Hey, raindrops, come in."
Get in there.
So, like, did they have to get rid of it? I don't know. The thinking is, now next year's the 10th anniversary of the iPhone.
Wow.
And they're probably going to unveil a brand new design. Edge-to-edge glass is the thought, and all sorts of things. And the thinking is that, in part, they did this headphone jack thing now so that everyone can get their rage about the loss of the headphone jack out this year, so that next year, when they do the brand new design, edge-to-edge design, that people will already be used to the fact that there's no headphone jack, and that won't be the story. That's part of the thinking.
So they're just doing damage control as opposed to innovation.
I mean, the thing has a new camera system.
Oh, I know it has like two.
Well, the iPhone 7 Plus has two cameras. The iPhone 7 itself has just one. But it's vastly improved.
The Plus, is that the one that's the big one?
That's the big one. That's
the one that's too big. The one
that may or may not be in a box heading to my house.
Oh, you got the big.
I don't buy things for myself, Steve. I generally don't like myself. I don't like to have fun. I don't like to spend money on myself. Every 2 years, I buy myself a new phone. And so, yes, we
are doing something fun for your goddamn birthday this year, Chris.
I don't know when my birthday is.
Well, your birthday, not necessarily on your birthday.
Wednesday. I think I have to go to class that day.
How about the weekend before or after your birthday? We are doing something fun besides doing this fucking show.
So I bought myself a phone. Yeah, and you know what? When I bought myself the phone, I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to pre-order the phone.
I did that the last time when I did mine.
Yeah, I wanted it. I was like, you know what? I've never done it that way.
But the ordeal that we had to go through last year, and I talked about it on the show.
Oh, yes.
Listen to episode a year from this one. I don't remember which one that is. I can't do math. And when I ordered it, I was living at my old place.
Yes. Oh, I remember this.
And we got the new place. Right. I changed the address and whatnot. And then I got sick. And I was feeling like super amounts of garbage.
Right.
And I called Verizon. I called FedEx.
Yes.
Multiple times each to verify that they were going to be sending my phone here.
Yes, to your new abode.
And not to my old place. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting on the couch with my bag of boogies.
Yeah.
And I get
the episode called Bag of Boogies?
It might have been.
Or maybe that's when we recorded the Bag of Boogies song that appeared in episode 104.
Yes. So
Bag of Boogies.
So yeah, I'm sitting there on the couch and I get a call from Air, Massachusetts, and I'm like, "Fuck you," which my old apartment, if you ring the buzzer, it would just call my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who else would be calling from Air right now on a day that I'm expecting a package here and not there?
We have a donkey dishwasher.
Fuck you. I don't even have headphones on, and I'm mad about that. Should put mine on. Have them not plugged into anything because I can't.
Because I'm occupying the one headphone port.
So yeah, and
why don't they have 2 headphone ports on this computer, Steve? Why not 2?
Because that would be dumb. I mean, seriously.
I mean, if they're gonna have ports, they might as well have a bunch of them.
Well, like these ones right here, these USB ports. Yeah, more than one is great because you can put in a mouse or like an external keyboard.
Why not put a SCSI port on there?
What's a SCSI port? Is that like
why not have a 3.5-inch floppy?
Because I don't want to load every disc of the day of the tentacle onto my Mac.
Sorry, so they called you from Air, Massachusetts.
And then I pick up the phone and it's like, "Hi, FedEx with a package." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" In my sick way. I'm like, I was just like, and I'm like, "Don't deliver it there. Bring it to wherever the fuck place is." And then Becky was so very wonderful and drove me to like, I forget, right out on the outskirts of Worcester to pick up my package and get my phone.
Damn.
And then we got Dairy Queen and I fell asleep on the way home.
Yes, I remember this story well. Hopefully mine will arrive. It will be addressed to Earl Clark. Hopefully my father will not think that he's got a package and open it up. I don't know why I'm nervous about this, because I am in charge of my own budget. I'm in charge of what I can afford. I save for 2 fucking years or plan for 2 fucking years about how I'm going to be able to afford this darn thing. But somehow I'm afraid of what my father's going to say if he sees that I have a new phone. So I'm kind of hoping, even though he's never really looked at my phone all that closely, he's going to see I get a new phone and not notice that it's
but typically that's when you should get a new phone, because it's typically when they start breaking or when your Apple Care runs out.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, I used my Apple Care. I used Apple Care to get my original iPhone 6 replaced a few months ago because it was having some troubles. And now I've kept the new one in a case for those few months, and I'm going to get to turn it in and get a decent amount back. That'll help pay down the cost of
Or
this,
you could just save your old one, and you could play Treasure Cruise on both of them.
Oh, yes, I could. I just need a drink for... I don't know why. No, so I got an iPhone 7 Plus coming to my house.
That's great.
I'm very excited. I went to the Apple store on the event was on Tuesday. Yeah. So on No.
Tuesday is loser.
The event was on Wednesday, and I went on Thursday. I went into the Apple store just to see if I could if I liked the feel of the big one. And the last time I saw a big one for any extended period of time was when we went to Dan's place 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I got the...
Yeah, it was 2 years ago around this time when I went to Seattle. Holy crap, we're flashing back to Septembers of old.
Yeah, we don't have to do that again in a little bit, although in a more sad...
Although I was talking to your brother, and I think he was up there in Seattle for...
he was, yeah.
For PAX Prime, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was on his birthday, so I told him to go to Unicorn, which was my favorite bar there.
Bar or arcade or
they do have pinball machines, but they're not. That's not the basis of the place. Mm-hmm. They have some pinball machines in the back, and they have a claw machine that has dildos in it.
A claw machine, clawing for dildos. There's the title.
But he did have a good time. I think he sent me a picture at like 4 a.m. or something like that, which was like
of a dildo and a claw.
No, it was a beverage that he had there, and I'm assuming that he played some games and had some fun and whatever.
Cool. Yeah, I hope so. What the hell? Yeah. No. So when I got my iPhone 6, Dan had gotten an iPhone 6 Plus. And that was I was able to compare sizes, and I was like, oh, that looks really big. But
yeah, handling his 6 Plus.
Handling his 6 Plus, he handled it well. I just got to say, there are men who can handle that size equipment, and they know what to do with it. And then there are men like me who are not so sure they would know what to do with their increased.
Hold on, I'll be back in a second.
Hey, I was trying to cover. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm got the 7 Plus. The dual cameras. The dual cameras was the thing that I couldn't resist. I like the size of the one that I have now, but the dual camera system is only on the 7 Plus, and I was like, all right, I got to do this. I take tons of pictures of my kids. When it comes to taking pictures of other people's kids, like sometimes I'm the one that gets assigned to take pictures of birthday parties and shit. So like I want the best camera I can get, and so I went for that.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess.
But
I'll get to I'll get to play Super Mario Run on a really big screen.
No, we'll get back to that. We have an email.
We have an email. Okay. Well, I thought we were just going to tackle all the Apple shit all at once. But yes, we have an email.
Well, Super Mario Run isn't going to be just on Apple. It's going to be on every...
Well, but it starts on just the iPhone.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So what Tim Cook and Nintendo or backdoor butt buddy meetings?
Well, I think that
Reggie and Tim are just kind of like... That reminds me of that picture that Mike made. Just like, never mind. That's the inside joke for just me, Mike, and Sarah.
I think it's big news. I think Nintendo and I think the strategy there is a really good one. The idea of creating a Mario game that is not a port of some other Mario game, but is really like, here's what Mario on a touchscreen device would be like. And then I think their notion is like, if you get kids addicted to Mario on their iPhones, on their Android phones eventually, then maybe they will want to get the NX or whatever it's called at that point.
Well, that and the fact that even with Pokemon Go, like right. the fact that a new Pokemon game is coming out like for the 3DS in like a couple of months, I think that's... Mm-hmm. And I mean, I imagine they are making money off like people actually paying for those stupid Poke coins.
Yeah. Well, I think the yes, they probably are. I think I spent $1 once to get Kaylee some extra Pokeballs because we weren't near any stops, and Melody and I were playing.
I'm out. I don't have any balls, Dad.
But I think the Mario strategy, they said this on stage, you're going to pay once to unlock everything, and then you're not going to have in-app purchases. So I think that is...
I have to pay for it? Oh. I have like $5 in credit. Hopefully it's not more than that.
Some people, I mean, I saw somebody suggest, what if they charged about half of what they charge for a console game? And they said, like, what if they charged like $19.99?
Fuck that.
Which I know nobody on
I am not buying it if it's $19.
Nobody wants to pay on mobile. But I'll tell you, the podcast player that I use on, nobody wants to pay for anything on, the podcast player that I use is called Overcast. And the guy, Marco Arment, he just it took me a second. He just switched to. He's tried a couple different business models over the years. When he first started off, you could get the app, but to unlock the full features, you paid a certain price. Then he tried a patronage model where you got all the features, but he said if you really like the app, try supporting it for X dollars a month or X dollars a year. And now he's trying ads or a $10 a year fee to get rid of the ads. And I opened it the other day. I saw an ad. I thought I recoiled in horror, and I plunked down the $10 today because I would much rather pay once. We've been over this, but I would much rather pay once for an app and never have to deal with fucking dumb in-app purchases again, or with ads, than to have to deal with ads or in-app purchases.
Ads.
Ugh.
Or Carbonite.com.
Okay. Hey, that's a callback to
something that didn't happen.
That hasn't happened yet.
Yes.
No. Yeah, no. So I don't know. Yeah, we've talked about that before. But you're of the, like, you'd rather.
I mean, I stomach ads. Yeah. Although certain, like, I mean, these companies that create these ads and put them on like Hulu or whatever else, mm-hmm. they have to realize that at a certain point, like you are hitting critical mass with seeing this particular ad, right. And anybody that sees it at that point after that, they are going to not want your product at all.
Right.
Like there's been times where like I forget there was some goddamn. Not that I really wanted like this workout thing. This guy with a bird tattoo on his neck.
Okay.
And he's like, we're adding more workouts all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I forget what the Daily Burn. Okay. I saw that ad like when Becky and I were watching most of One Piece.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You would see. Oh yeah. Sorry.
When we were watching most of One Piece, we were seeing ads for Daily Burn almost every commercial break, if not every commercial break. Yeah. And it was just like, no, I'm never using your goddamn product. And I suggest all of you out there never use Daily Burn.
Now, I think I've said this before, but the reason I can't watch Hulu is the last time I tried to watch Hulu, the ad that I got every commercial break was, I don't know if it was Truth or it was one of those anti-cancer, anti-smoking ads. And it was somebody who they spoke with a really raspy voice. Sometimes it was somebody who had a voice box, and then the end of the ad is so and so died of cancer.
Yeah,
and they played that every. I was probably during a comedy too. We were watching like some comedy on Hulu, and every single commercial break was this, and it was like twice as loud. So it would go from, the normal volume of whatever we were watching to a twice as loud ad for don't smoke, which made me want to smoke. No,
it didn't make you want to smoke, but it did. It was basically the ad was lost on you.
Yeah,
because you don't smoke. Right. I mean, your parents used to.
Yeah. My grandfather smoked and died of it. So like
it's not like you're not aware of how harmful it is.
Yeah.
Like you're not a little kid, and I imagine as a parent you're like, telling your kids, or not telling them, but basically giving them the knowledge that they need without showing them gruesome things.
Ads. Yeah.
To say that this is not something you want to do. It tastes gross. It's addictive. It's terrible. It takes up all your money and whatever. Yeah. So don't do it. Like, and then hopefully they'll make the right decision. But they're their own people. And,
I don't know. I think ads can be done well, right? That's your point. Right.
Yes.
The ads can be done, and they can be done in a relevant fashion. A lot of the podcasts, a lot of the websites I visit use a site called The Deck, and The Deck is one ad in the side or sometimes at the bottom, and usually pertinent to whatever the site is doing, if nothing else. And you know what?
So you're seeing a lot of ads for brutaldildos.com. It's pertinent.
My ad blocker blocks brutaldildos.com.
Oh, darn it.
I don't want them to be brutal. I'd like them to be a little gentle.
I want subtle, gentle dildos. Appropriate size and shape dildos for the vagina it's going inside. Or butthole.
Should we get to the email that you alluded to?
Emails?
Before? Yeah, we got an email, and we were going to start the show with it, so we didn't give it short shrift.
Yes,
and
so we're about halfway through the show.
Halfway through the show.
So we're at least still not giving it short shrift.
Yes.
So if you want to email us, let me just preface the email with the fact that you can email us by sending it to hot@clarkwoods.com.
And we love the emails, and we love reading them on the show.
Halfway through. Sometimes at the end. Depending on how good it is.
We've done at least one episode where we started off with the
because we had a lot of emails that week. I think we were just like, let's do them now, so we don't are not able to finish the show because we're doing 600 emails.
Yeah, there are shows that I've listened to that always start with the not the feedback. Well, yeah, the feedback or the follow up. That's what they call it.
So this is in reference to a lot of the stuff that we were talking about last week.
Yes, this comes to us from listener Brian. Do we say the email address? We said, yeah, you said it. hot@clarkwoods.com.
hot@clarkwoods.com. Send us an email. Lovely.
That was weak. Brian. Brian sent us an email with the heading "Naming Generations," and I should preface this by saying I saw this. I printed it. I forgot to bring the printout here, and I forgot to read the printout prior to the show, so I'm reading this right now.
I've read it before, so I have a basic knowledge of what is going to happen, but you can read it.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Hey, guys, I have a suggestion. Instead of figuring out what to name the current generation, we should probably wait until the current generations have had enough time to leave their mark on history or turn the world upside down before giving them a fitting name. What I'm proposing is that we let generations' actions speak for them, not some sort of demographic trend. With that in mind, there has been enough distance from the greatest generation to see that their name sticks. They were the generation responsible for ending the Great Depression, stopping the spread of the golden lion of fascism, and ushering in widespread economic prosperity,
hold on.
Productivity, and adventure. What was that drink for?
Just keep going.
Good job, guys and gals. You did it. Now that the baby boomers have had half a century or so, which means it's time... now the baby boomers have had half a century or so, which means that it's time to give them a proper name. I would like to suggest we change their name to the worst generation. You're drinking again. Okay. This is really the only proper name for this group of destructive forces. If you take a really close look at what the boomers did to the era of gold that was left by the greatest generation, it's like 11 supernovas went off at once to shake the foundations of the world that was left to them. Like a castle full of gangsters, this generation took the world that was handed to them and threw it in a shark-infested cove.
I think there was one other one in there too.
Since the worst generation has taken over, we've seen the continual spread of emperor-like imperialism, our middle-class wealth shrink, while the celestial billionaires continued to drag themselves onto higher riches. And just remember that for all the civil protest and marches that this group espoused once the going got a little tough or they got a little older, they decided to leave their causes in shambles and seemingly teleport away. Let's not forget about the paramount
Jesus Christ.
war that was Vietnam, something that should have taught them about the pitfalls of armed conflict. Instead, they widely supported the payback war in Iraq and Afghanistan. I haven't even gotten started on the damage they've done to the environment. The way they talk, you'd think they were all a bunch of monks living in the clouds, when instead they essentially have been stabbing an environment voodoo doll this entire time. It's not like this is all going to bounce back like some sort of rubber ball. They essentially put a magnet to the hard drive of the world's ecosystem. We're at the tipping point
There's just too many
of this massacre. Instead, they'd rather sit around in fancy jewelry and stuffing their faces with whatever mass-produced food they have on hand, all the while listening to the roar of their terrible music. What's worst of all is the boomers love to complain about the younger generations, saying we're just playing at being adults, when they are the ones that raised the millennials. How about these dinosaurs take some personal responsibility for their actions? So there you have it, my answer for naming generations. In about 50 to 60 years, we can give whatever name seems fitting to the kids born between 2000 and 2015. I like your 15 generation spread. Keep up the good work. Cheers, Brian. P.S. Drink.
It was a lot. There was a lot in there.
There was a lot. Did you have any rhyme or reason to your drinking?
If anybody isn't familiar with the current rules of the horribly off-topic drinking game, okay. A lot of these were way subtler than I've ever done. So, I mean, I can pick them up, and a couple of them I wasn't sure about, so I just drank anyways.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So you're saying there were some references to a certain Japanese television program.
Yes.
Slash
manga. So yeah, it's there was a lot in there, and it was really good. Brian.
It was really good.
It was fucking fantastic.
I agree with that. I don't know if all of the boomers are the worst generation, but I think are all of the greatest generation the greatest generation? Probably not. So I guess you really name these things on balance, like. You know,
but it's bad. Like what your generation is known for is having a lot of children.
Well, I mean the boomers are named the boomers because the greatest generation had a lot of children.
Well, damn it!
They are the result of the
too much breeding
of the world not ending in a nuclear holocaust. So everyone comes back. There's tons of war dead. And the human instinct is to replenish the earth. They've lost all these people in the war, come back, get married, get busy, get fucking, and produce as many people as you can.
Well, what the hell has been
now? There's a Cold War, and we might be annihilated by nuclear weapons at any point.
So why don't we create more people to die?
Why don't we create more people so that if a bunch of us die, there's still some left over to keep the race going.
Ugh, God damn it. But after the Cold War, let's just say
So is the greatest generation really the greatest generation if they produce the boomers?
No.
That's a knock against them.
Oh my God! See, like, why? Like, I don't know. My thoughts on the. We need to at least level out the population. Like, I don't want to like get such a lofty goal as to decrease the amount of world population. But I think it needs to level out. Like what you have done, you and Steph, you have 2 children. So basically, that means those 2 children are the 2 that will replace the 2 of you in the world once you're gone.
Well, is it China that at one point, I don't know if they still do, had the 1-child rule?
I think I think they no longer have that, and I think that might be why like the population like of the last couple of years has exploded.
Yeah. See, what I would say yes, Steph and I have 2 children, which will replace us. What I would say is I have friends, I don't know, they never said this to me, but I have friends who their opinion of or acquaintances at least, of IVF and the techniques we had to use to have our children, because we've struggled with infertility, whether they believe in God or they just believe in fate or whatever, they might say that maybe we shouldn't have had kids. Maybe that was nature, the universe, whatever, saying, nope, you should go adopt. Like, if you want to raise children, there are plenty of children that could be adopted in this overpopulated world. You didn't need to use science to.
Well, I understand the part of a human being that wants to get like their DNA as well.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's in our DNA to want to do that, isn't it?
I believe so.
So, but like so basically, I'm not saying that the United States should have a policy where you can only have 1 or 2 children. I mean, like that's garbage. I want people to have as many kids as they want to have, but
19 kids and count.
Love
those Duggars.
I want to stop rewarding it.
Stop rewarding
children? Like more than 2 children.
Okay.
With tax breaks.
That's fair.
I'm like, okay, let's say if you have 1 child, you get a regular amount of tax break. 2, you get a little bit less. 3, you get 0 tax break.
Right.
And 4 or more, you have to pay more in taxes.
That's fair, I think.
I mean, we're not saying you can't have them, but if you can't afford them, guess what?
Yeah.
They're going to be ripped away from you by the state and going to be basically thrown into prison.
Coming for your children.
They're going to be thrown into prison eventually because there's no one that lasts in the foster care system. According to every episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit I've ever watched.
So that's it. What are the counter arguments? What objections do you anticipate, Steve? I'm putting on my professor hat here. I'm gonna say
everybody's gonna be like, "Brah, you can't do that. You can't tell us how to live our lives." And I'm like, I'm not.
Nanny state.
I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm just not going to reward you for having fuck tons of children.
Fuck tons.
It's true.
President Steve Woodbury. Or Steve Woodbury for president.
No, I can't be a president. I the only way I would run is if I'm dictator for life. And I would be a lot more severe than what I just said.
You might be able to get in there. You repeal which amendment was that? Term limits? I can't remember now.
No, it wouldn't. If I was a dictator, we wouldn't have to worry about the system of government.
What I'm saying is, like, you'd begin by repealing whatever the amendment was that went
in
there.
I'd start from scratch.
1960. You got to start small, Steve. No. You're saying hostile takeover.
Yeah, if I was to be there, it would just be like, okay, we're going to start from scratch. Like, these founding fathers had some good ideas. We'll take the good ideas. We'll throw out the garbage.
When I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'm going to compel him to put women in the sequel.
Yeah.
Hamilton reference. Drink.
Is that a thing now when you reference Hamilton?
Yeah, but I don't think I would love to know how many people in our audience have actually heard the musical, so they wouldn't get it.
I might have to. If they live in the greater New York area, they're probably waiting outside every day trying to get a ticket.
Ham for Ham. I binged on that shit the other night, right before, like Tuesday.
When is it coming to the theater district here in Boston?
I don't know. I think it's going to Chicago first, and then maybe they'll eventually get it elsewhere. But Ham for Ham is the thing that they do out front of the theater every day.
What, they give people ham sandwiches?
No.
No. Why is that a crazy thing that I said?
Maybe they do. I don't know. No, that's where they have a lottery for $10 tickets, but because they know there are way more people who want the $10 tickets than can get the $10 tickets, they do a little show or a little performance or something right there for them. So they get a little bit of live theater right there on the street, just in case. And there's lots of videos of this on the YouTube, and I went and watched a bunch of them the other night because I couldn't sleep before my first night of classes.
Just a little stressed out. How did they go? How are your students this semester?
My students are great. I fucked up on the first day. I had way too much material, and some of the very important stuff that needed to happen logistically on that first day didn't happen, and I'm still dealing with the repercussions 5 days later, 6 days, however many days later it is. So you
just tried to teach too much and too
and it's not to bore everyone with the logistics, but it's a creative writing class, and on the first day traditionally I have to break them into a certain number of groups so that we can handle a certain number of stories every class that are going to be workshopped, and that didn't happen. And so I got the first two people so that we have something to discuss tomorrow, but I didn't solidify who the second two people are who have to turn something in tomorrow so we can discuss it on Wednesday. And it's just been a lot of logistical crap. And I think maybe I don't know. I lost two students. Two students dropped, which I don't usually have as a problem in my classes. But I've spent the last couple of days wondering whether or not I did something to put them off.
Or maybe they got into the history of ice cream and they would rather take that than creative writing.
Or maybe they're huge Elijah Dushku fans. And you know who Elijah Dushku is?
Yeah, she was on Buffy.
Yes, Elijah Dushku is now a student at my university.
What?
She decided to. I think I followed a couple of the tweets on Twitter. If
she ends up taking one of your classes, you have to get her on the fucking show. I'm sorry, Chris. This is your goal now. If she ever
takes one of my classes, I will mention it to her. Yes, I will do that. I don't know what I can. I even felt nervous. She tweeted I'm breaking the wall here. I don't
Fourth wall?
I don't think I'm gonna get it fired for anything I said today on the show. But like I won't even say the university's Twitter account retweeted Eliza Dushku going around campus and like taking pictures of some of the sites around. And I wrote back to the university and to Eliza saying, welcome to campus, and so on and so forth. I don't know what's appropriate. Like, I'm professor. Am I allowed to even say, I was like so nervous. I'm like, am I allowed to say welcome to, I don't know.
It's not like she's not like a 20-year-old. She's like in her 30s.
Yeah. I tend to, and I've had this rule with my students too, like if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter, but until you're no longer my student, I'm not following you back on Twitter.
What if she's your student and she's a celebrity?
Yes.
Do you follow her on the Twitter?
I don't know. I think
that's just a moral, like that has nothing to do with the any sort of college policy, I don't think.
Well, I think you raised the more important point. Is if they're under 21, that's where the issue comes up. And the issue is, and this is why I don't friend anybody on Facebook usually until they're done, they're graduated.
Yeah, because you want to be able to go out for a couple of oat sodas with your students.
No, well,
because you're just a wild and crazy professor.
No, but I mean, I tend to stay away from that sort of stuff just because, especially for the people who are under 21, if they want to post pictures of them drinking. Right. We had some meeting on this once, and I forget what the policy was, but it was scary enough. I was like, nope, fuck no. I'm not. If the student posts something on social media and you are following them and you see them drinking in some sort of illegal act, is there any responsibility on your part as a professor or as a whatever, like to
report it or whatever.
That. So yeah, I was like, no, you know what? You guys can all be friends with me after you're 21 or after you're done being students. You're
just hanging out with these ones that have already turned 21, right?
But so I guess probably if Eliza Dushku wanted to like
answer my
question. I have hung out with some of the former students or some students who are. It's hard because if they take me if they take a course with me when they're a junior, and then they follow, like the course is done and they follow me and I follow them back, and then they decide last minute, I'm going to take a course with them as a senior. What the hell do I do? I've had that happen a couple times, and I just don't unfollow them, and I'm like, all right,
we're just best pals now. Here's an A because I'm not going to give a B to my best pals.
No, I am able to separate
church and state. I gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, why did Eliza Dushku come up?
You brought her up.
I don't know. So she's attending my university now.
Oh, well, that's great.
That's great.
Like I said, get her on the fucking show.
What were we talking about before that? Maybe it's time to move on.
We were talking about Brian's email.
Brian's email. All right, we got about 15 minutes left. And
15? Holy
15.
shit. 15. Oh. I'm like, we've only been doing this for 10 minutes? Fuck me.
14 and a half now. So we have a number of things on the list that we could talk about. We could talk about... Oh, no, we've talked about most of these things. So... we could talk about kind of our weekend and what we did with it and are not doing with it. I'm trying to beat around the bush here.
All right. Well, let's talk about our weekend.
Okay.
Let's not get all.
Let's talk about your weekend because my weekend consisted of doing work for school or work around the house.
Let's not get all somber. We're recording this on 9/11, and it's been 15 years, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And let's fucking just leave it at that, and then talk about something more fun that I did yesterday.
Yes.
On the 10th.
Celebrating your rights as an American.
To go to a Ren fair.
Mm-hmm. It's not really an American thing, Ren fairs, don't you think?
No,
it's. I
don't know. Like, I don't.
I wouldn't imagine you would need a Ren fair in Europe. I think you could just go to the places where the Ren happened and kind of live in. And the reason that Ren fairs happen in America, I would imagine, is because we have no real history aside from really deep, dark history that we don't want to confront.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about, Chris? No, we can't talk about history or else Leo will fucking ream us a new asshole. You guys talked about history and you guys are dumb and idiots. Have me on again.
We should have him on. I would love to have him on again. So let's
Leo, come on the goddamn show again so we can talk about history with you.
Like, what's the stupidest thing about history we could say right now?
I don't know.
Yeah. That the Renaissance.
That 9/11 was an inside job. Thermite paint.
There were bombs. I heard Jill Stein wants there to be another follow-up investigation.
Oh, fucking hell. Now there's another person I don't want to vote for.
Yeah, well, I have people, former students, as a former student, as a matter of fact, who is a huge Jill Stein supporter, huge Hillary hater, and well, maybe not Hillary hater, but huge Jill Stein supporter. And I don't know. I want to have a conversation, but I kind of don't. I'd rather have the conversation in person and have this student explain to me what the Jill Stein appeal is, because I've heard the thing about wanting to reinvestigate 9/11, and I've heard that she doesn't necessarily believe that vaccination is a thing that should happen. And maybe those are mischaracterizations by other candidates or by the press. But
prove us wrong, buddies.
Yeah, I would love to know what the case is for Jill Stein.
Well,
even though I will not be voting for her.
Like, I find this a lot when I'm like kind of scrolling through Twitter and I see something that I disagree with, either said by somebody I know or somebody I don't know.
Yes.
And I just have to stop myself and go, don't.
Like millennials are responsible for the Second World War.
No, whatever. Like, it could be something as nonsense as that. But I'll see something like that and I'm like, don't do it. Just, if you're going to have a conversation with this person,
right,
like, have it, like, in the same room together, or on the fucking podcast, or whatever. Where
we're not in the same room together?
Yes, we are. But like, like
in the same room together on the podcast,
or on the podcast, or whatever, or like having some sort of rational dialogue where we can
don't try to do it in 140 characters.
Yeah, or don't try to do it on social media where like everything you say is like out of context.
Right.
Because like no one can understand your tone. No one can, like, you can't, or unless you're doing that thing like where you push that little thing on the side where you record a little message.
Oh yes, yeah.
Where I occasionally will do that for Becky and go meow 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 meow.
I've never done that.
You've never try it out. Like, maybe Steph will be like, "Yeah, that's cute." That you just sounded like a cat at me. What the fuck are we talking about?
You were talking about not engaging with people on Twitter after I somehow got us into talking about Jill Stein as a way of pissing off Leo. I think.
Yes. So, but like,
And we were talking about you going to the Ren Fair. Like, that's
yes, we were talking about the Ren Fair.
That's how it started, and now we've wasted 5 minutes talking about something else.
So we went there. It was fun. Like, we went to a couple of shows.
The Crusades were an inside job.
Yeah, right. It was George W. Bush. He was the culprit. As much as I don't like, I did not like him as a president, and I think I sort of blame our generation for him getting elected because our voter apathy caused the
generation apathy.
Yes, our voter apathy caused Al Gore to not win and him to win.
Oh, well,
I mean, as much as I wanted to have it come down to like, voting booths in Florida, like if
hanging chads,
if more people had gotten out in the other 49 fucking states and voted for Al Gore, then maybe we wouldn't have had that fucking problem.
Maybe we wouldn't have been decided by a place where they used to hang chad.
Yeah, right. Is that like a penis joke, or is that like
that was a dark
black person joke?
That was a lynching joke.
Okay, hilarious. So yeah, we were at the lynching place. The Ren Fair. Job. Stop it. Horribly off topic is an inside joke.
All right, Ren Fair. Not just any Ren Fair. Not like the New Hampshire Ren Fair that I went to earlier this summer, where there was just people spilling out of their costumes was the highlight of the day. No.
Well, that was sort of supposed. It was supposed to be the highlight of the day this particular day, because it was. They were hosting a cleavage contest.
Really?
Yes. And there was surprisingly not enough cleavage, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, I did not find there was enough cleavage.
Cleavage was an inside job.
At King Richard's, stop it. King Richard's Fair.
Okay. Not enough cleavage.
There was not enough cleavage, and
that seems wrong. That seems like you should get the price of your ticket back.
Yeah, well, we had a Groupon, so.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was just like, come on, like, more tits, please. For Christ's sake. But like, we went to a couple of different shows. We went to like Men Talk, the Mind Taker. No, that's not really what it was. But I've been watching a little bit too much Harvey Birdman, and I couldn't. And every time he did his like,
not Men Talk, the Mansplainer.
No,
sorry.
Yeah, he was mansplaining. He was just like, I am just a man telling you what to do, ladies. Ladies. No, but I've been watching too much Harvey Birdman. So when it was him sort of planting people in the audience and having them say that that was the thing that he was doing or whatever.
Got it, yeah.
But everybody thought it was magical that he was doing his mind taking. But yeah, so that we went to that show. We saw another show where a man ate fire and put hooks in his eyes.
Oh.
And it was called Torture Show or something.
It wasn't the Jim Rose Circus, was it?
No.
He puts hooks in his penis. But,
yeah, we didn't see that.
I saw that live at the Worcester Centrum, 1995.
Was this opening for Nine Inch Nails?
Yes, it was. Never forget that.
And so we saw something like that was a little bit more gruesome actually was it last year or at Canopy Lake when we the shows in between, like, the
Justin Bieber,
the Foreigner cover band? No, because it's Rocktober. It's not that right. Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Bieber does not rock.
No believers. Like it was the Foreigner cover band last year, and I think they did some guy that was like sticking like a bar through his arm or some fucking weird shit.
His name wasn't Kurt, was it?
What?
He wasn't. He was sticking something into his arm. Oh well, whatever.
Never mind. That kind of thing. Stop it. But yeah, I mean, like, Becky and her friend had a good time. There was lots of little shops that they enjoyed, but like I found it to be less fun than the last time I went.
It was because I didn't go, right?
No, stop it. Don't. The world does
not revolve around me. I know.
The world does not stop and start at your convenience, you miserable piece of shit. That's a Big Lebowski one, so I guess you should drink. It was just they stopped selling yards of beer, which was my biggest complaint.
You were out of your element.
dude, you're out of here. Shit, fucking Walter, fuck, hell, shit. You're out of your element.
You're out of your element, Donnie.
Dude, it was a valued rug.
Really tied the room together.
So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was fun. We had a good time, but I did not have as good of a time.
Yeah. Because there weren't as many boobs, or
no, we went to, we went to the contest, the boobie contest.
Yeah.
And they left. Oh, okay. And I'm short. I'm not a tall person. Mm-hmm. And I was I didn't get there early enough, so I wasn't very close to the stage, so I couldn't really see the boobies. So it's like, what the fuck is the point of being here if I can't see the boobies in the boobie contest? So I sort of just wandered around from that point. And I'm like, I was hoping beyond hope that there wouldn't be a lot of children there that day because of the boobie contest, but there wasn't a terrible amount of boobies there. And the people that were just like jammed in, packed
against the boobies
to watch the boobies were just like the epitome of the sweaty nerds that I hope that I am not considered anymore. And I don't know. The most fun, I think, was the joust. We went to see the joust to the death.
Oh,
which is the last sort of event of the afternoon.
Yeah,
and we
does it get all like Hunger Games up in there?
No, but it's like, everybody is sitting in different sections, and when our night comes around, we're supposed to cheer a little bit harder or whatever. Our night ended up winning.
Nice.
He was a swarthy Spaniard.
Was his name Tom?
Tom Spaniard?
Or was it Jimmy?
Jimmy Spaniard?
No, Garoppolo.
What?
Nothing.
I don't get your reference.
I'm saying your knight. You're the person you were rooting for. Was it Tom or was it Jimmy? This is a Patriots reference.
Oh, we don't have enough time.
Yeah. No. I was trying to sneak it in there.
Maybe next time when I say I'm finally watching, or in a couple of weeks when I say I'm finally watching the fucking
finally watching
again.
Jousting
again. No, but it was a really good. It was a really good joust. Well, actually, no, it was pretty badly choreographed. But
I don't know why that almost made me snarf or whatever.
One of my favorite taunts of one of the other nights was he was like, he had his sword out, he was riding his horse around the little jousting ring, and I go, I have steak knives that are sharper than your sword. Which I got a decent response in our section. I just, because I'm trying, I'm not always great at it, but I occasionally try to have humor come out of me that a child could hear and a parent wouldn't be like, what the fuck did you just say in front of my child? But I had a couple of zingers that were moderately well received.
I like that
at
one.
the joust.
Any others you remember?
Nah.
No. That was the PA's the resistance.
I did have a number of beers, but they were in much smaller containers.
Were they in like Steins?
No.
Plastic cups. Fucking hell.
There was bees everywhere.
There were no fucking plastic cups in the Renaissance.
Yes, and but there were probably plenty of bees, and they were all there. Like the poor people that were dispensing the alcohol, they had cider and they had a pumpkin ale, and of course everybody needs a sugar sweet rim on those things.
Oh yes, they do, because they don't taste like anything without it, right?
No, they taste fine without it.
Oh, okay.
They're also very sweet without it.
Oh, okay.
It's like, why the fuck do you need more sugar, people?
I don't know. People like sugar. It's
I guess.
Crack.
No, but the bees.
I would never do crack. I would never do a drug named after a part of my own ass.
I only have a little bit left.
He's like, I was like, something's getting thrown at me.
No, I was just drinking the rest of my drink.
Okay.
No more Dennis Leary.
All right.
But what the fuck? Oh yeah, but Becky had one earlier, or was it later? I don't know. With the sugar rim.
Yeah.
And most of the other time she did not. But this particular time, a bee landed right on the side of her glass.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're like, what the fuck? And it would not go away. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm inches from it, and I'm going. It would not leave. I'm blowing directly on the bee.
Lovely sound for the podcast. I'm gonna edit that.
Did it have a nice saliva sound?
Oh no, it had a lovely sound. I think we're gonna edit that. We're gonna keep that around for I don't know, for future use.
For blowing. And it was a windy night.
But so you're trying to blow the bee off.
I was trying to blow the bee off.
Trying to blow the bee.
And hopefully it doesn't
Do bees
flame.
have...
What?
Do bees have something you could blow? Like, do bees blow other bees? I don't know.
I don't think there's any, like, bee fellatio that's going on.
Yeah. Any bee cunnilingus?
I don't know. Isn't there just, like, one lady bee? I don't even know how the fucking bee world works.
Well, but if
Leo would probably be good for that too, because he's a biologist.
Bee, like all the other bees could be given like 5, 6 on one cunnilingus. I mean, there's nothing to prohibit like the cunnilingus happening.
I don't know if
bee.
bees have the pleasure centers that humans have.
Probably not.
I think their hive mind, and I think that's where that comes from.
I would think so.
Is more important than sexual pleasure.
Yeah, probably.
But again, I probably am speaking from my ass, and Leo will have to come on and set us straight because he is a biologist.
Yeah. He could also explain to us why Ren Fair is inaccurate, right? That like none of this shit that's at a Ren Fair would have happened during the Renaissance. It would have been during the Dark Ages.
Probably.
All
All right, we out of time?
We are out of we're over time.
Good. Let's fucking finish then.
Yeah. Well, let's finish like the bee.
No, he didn't finish.
No, he didn't finish.
I hope he didn't.
He went off.
Becky was drinking beverages, which I guess is just honey.
Yeah, which sugar is a form of honey is a form of sugar. So I mean, could have been. Maybe they were sweetening. Maybe it was.
I don't think Bee-Jizz Cheerios will sell as well.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/111. And again, if you'd like to send us an email about anything we've got wrong, anything we got right, anything you'd like to comment on, you can send that to hot@clarkwoods.com, or you can tweet us. I am at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday. IS Loser. All one word.
All one. There's nothing that can top the fucking
Bee-Jizz Cheerios. I'll just say it one more time. Bee-Jizz Cheerios. Bye-bye.